Hello, and welcome to the Weird Around Illinois podcast. Since there has been so much discussion lately of UFOs and alien encounters and things like that, we decided to be a little bit helpful today and give you the top 10 list of ways you can tell that you may have had an alien encounter. Let's get weird. Number one is a pretty obvious one, I think. You remember it. In other words, if you remember that you had an alien encounter, chances are you had an alien encounter. It sounds silly, but the reason we have to bring this up is because people remembering having alien encounters are often convinced by their friends that they imagined it, or that it was something else, or that it was a dream. So sometimes you gotta trust your own memories and not let yourself be talked out of it. There are also people who have alien encounters who don't remember them on their own, but they remember them under hypnosis, or they come back, the memories come back years later, and it makes them kind of doubt that those memories existed. But especially now that we're gaining greater acceptance of the idea that aliens may have visited this planet, I think you need to take another look at those memories.
Right. So the second one is when you don't remember it. Now, this probably sounds weird, but if you don't remember it, then that's kind of a sign your memory may have been like wiped or something.
Especially if there's like a gap in your memory. Like you try to remember something or you almost remember something, but there's like this huge blank space.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck did I do yesterday?
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, me too, actually. But I think it's a little more pronounced in the case of an alien encounter. It's like, you know, literally you just wake up in your living room or something. It's like, where have I been for the last 4 hours? What did I do?
Yeah. It's kind of like being drunk, I've heard.
Yeah, that's probably a good analogy, and probably a lot of people write it off as having been drunk. You know, maybe that's why aliens always seem to abduct drunk people.
Yeah, it's a very common excuse for sightings in general, not just UFOs.
True.
Another topic when you have a UFO sighting is time distortion. You know, it could be the 1:45, and maybe it's like an hour later, it's 2:45. And you were staring at one mysterious figure that you couldn't figure out, and just time was passing by so fast, you just don't know what happened. It felt like 2 minutes to you, but it was way longer.
Now this is an interesting one because our mind plays tricks on us with time all the time. Like you notice if you're ever watching a good movie or hanging out with your friends or something, it seems like time just zips by.
Yeah.
But if you're doing math homework, or you know you're waiting to get out of work or something like that, it feels like time is dragging forever.
Right.
So you know your mind can play tricks on you with time, but in the case of an alien encounter, again, it seems to be more pronounced. It's like, you know, you're driving along, you park for a minute to you know, look at a map or look at your phone or something, and then you look up and it's an hour and a half later.
Yeah, the new saying can be, when you're in fear, time flies by.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so that seems to be a common one with alien encounters, the whole loss of time. And some people it's not just an hour or 2 hours. Some people it's days. You know, they'll just say, wow, it's Tuesday? What happened to Sunday, Monday? So you definitely be aware of that. And if it's not an alien encounter, it means you may have mental issues that you should get addressed. So number 4 on our list of signs that you may have had an alien encounter is strange marks or implants on or in your body. A lot of times people talk about surgical marks, like they have a scar, like they were cut into. Another thing is almost like branding. Like people have like this weird birthmark looking almost like a tattoo or something. Usually somewhere where they wouldn't ordinarily see it, you know, hidden somewhere on their body that they don't normally look at. And they think it might be a way that aliens like catalog their subjects.
So like they didn't have it when they're a child, but like all of a sudden they wake up with it
Right.
and it stays with them forever?
Yeah.
Huh.
And the implant thing is rarer, but, well, we think it's rarer. Maybe a lot of people have them and they don't realize it, but there are oftentimes people will go in for an MRI or a CAT scan or something, and then the doctor will be like, hey, what's this weird piece of metal in your neck? That's the sort of strange implant that should make you scratch your head and say, I didn't put that in my body. I wasn't aware of that being put in my body. Where did that come from?
Yeah, this is probably for another episode, but how the heck would aliens do that?
Well, superior technology. I imagine, they knock you out, you go through that time distortion thing, and they just, surgically implant it. Another question is, what purpose does it serve? Is it a tracking device? Is it a mind control device? Is it something that is actually helping you, maybe curing some disease that you didn't know you had? Who knows?
The next thing is unexpected draining of power from your electrical devices. This could be like phones, like car batteries, anything like that.
This is a common phenomenon, not just with aliens, but also with ghosts, and to a lesser degree with cryptids.
Yeah.
The reasoning may be different, or it may be the same, I don't know. But I know with ghosts, they always talk about ghosts needing to draw power from your electrical devices in order to contact you or make themselves known.
Right, and not only that, it's kind of in the same subject, but like, if you have any type of glitch that has never happened to your phone or watch, it doesn't really matter. But in general, if some type of technology is just glitching like crazy, screen is kind of just glitching out in a weird way.
Yeah.
You might be near UFO. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. See, that's number 6 on our list. That's 5 and 6 are kind of combined. It's UFOs affecting your electrical devices, either draining their power or making them glitch. Cars, often you hear that, suddenly the horn starts honking and the doors start locking and unlocking when a UFO is close.
Yeah, speaking of that, that's another good scene in Project Blue Book. There was this, like, 3 big orbs that just flew over the main characters' cars, and like all the cars around them and their car just started like honking and just going crazy.
Mm-hmm. And again, supposedly that's based on a true story, so that was a real account that somebody gave of a UFO flying over.
Right.
We've heard these kind of glitches like with shadow people as well.
Yeah.
Like when we talked to Marie, she mentioned like all of the like electrical devices going crazy.
Oh,
there's
and
like a shadow person around.
Yeah, the lamps around her were kind of going off and on.
Yeah. And I have to say, when I thought about this one, I got a little worried because, one of the things that people often talk about is after they have an alien encounter, watches don't work for them anymore. Like they put a watch on and suddenly the battery goes dead, or it won't keep time anymore, or whatever. And I'm one of those people. I've never been able to wear a watch for more than like a week because the battery will die or something will go wrong with it, or I even tried switching to mechanical watches, which don't have a battery. You wind them up, and those would suddenly stop working or be really messed up on time, like losing minutes a day or something, just a week after I start wearing them. So I don't know what that means exactly. Maybe it means I had an alien encounter at some point and had that memory loss that goes with it. But watches and I don't agree. So another thing that we can look for as a sign that you may have had an alien encounter, number 7 on our list, is a change in your physical health. Now, this can be something as simple as the sudden onset of headaches. If you've never had a migraine in your life and suddenly you're getting migraines 2 or 3 times a week, might mean the aliens were playing with your brain a little bit. The other thing is unexplained weight loss or lesser degree unexplained weight gain, but I've heard about that really rarely. But weight loss is something that sometimes happens after somebody has an alien encounter, and part of that I think is psychological, just because they know something has happened to them and they don't know why or what, and I think it causes them to almost develop an eating disorder.
Yeah, I've heard the idea that UFOs are kind of like projecting a lot of radiation, some kind of dangerous amount that could affect physical health and mental health.
Yeah, and that's the more extreme cases too. There have been people who have come down with like strange types of cancer that you wouldn't ordinarily get, like they were exposed to heavy radiation after a UFO or alien encounter. So that's the really dark side of this. You know, you could end up with some horrible, potentially terminal disease that, you know, you would not necessarily be checking for because it normally only happens to people who work in fusion reactors or something.
Yeah, the next tip is an increase in like paranormal phenomenon. So that could be like shadow people, ghosts, Bigfoot, anything like cryptids.
Yeah, that's when doing research for this, I stumbled on that as a possible sign of an alien encounter, and that kind of surprised me. But the way they explained it is that aliens may have like a personal cloaking device, so they may present themselves as shadow people. So if you see a shadow person moving out of the corner of your eye, it could be the aliens are still monitoring you.
Oh.
And same thing with ghosts. If things start moving around your house, it could be that the aliens are doing it and you don't see them.
So they are the spectators.
Yes. And the cryptid connection, you know, we've always talked about the connection between cryptids and aliens. You know, are they pets? Are they the aliens themselves? Are they some sort of trained monitors that the aliens send down here to check up on humans? I'm becoming more and more confident that there is a link between cryptids and aliens, if either exist. And for that reason alone, I think if you start seeing a lot of cryptids suddenly when you've never seen them before, you might want to look back at your history for some time distortion or some. Memories and maybe see if there might have been an alien encounter in your past.
Yeah. I was just thinking, in Chicago, for example, there's a lot of like buildings that have ghost sightings.
Mm-hmm.
There's also been a lot of UFO sightings in Chicago.
And a lot of Mothman sightings recently.
Yeah.
So there definitely seems to be a connection. And think of all those places that we go to that seem to have multiple kinds of phenomenon. Places like Barrington or Outgrove Village where, you know, suddenly it's not just a dog man. It's a dog man and a UFO and a ghost.
Yeah, they all could be combined running a full operation, spectating humans.
Right.
For some reason.
Absolutely.
Going back to kind of the physical and mental change, there is a possibility that if you maybe come very near a UFO, you can gain some type of new powers or intelligence. You know, there have been ideas of like you can gain telekinesis,
psychic abilities, and
yeah.
ESP, extrasensory perceptions. You can read minds and such. Yeah, there are reports of that, and as you mentioned, there are even reports of people's intelligence level changing, which would be a great thing. I mean, if aliens want to visit me and make me smarter, I'm on board with that. For that matter, if they want to give me ESP or telekinesis or psychic ability or anything like that, I'm fine with that too.
I've heard ideas that instead of you gaining the telekinesis or any of that, they project an image into your brain, and then it's like in the back of your mind, and you're just imagining it. Like I don't remember what or where I got it from, but I swear some show or movie gave that idea.
Oh, so you're not developing psychic ability, but they can see what's going to happen, and they're projecting the image to you.
Yeah, they have the psychic abilities.
Yeah.
And they're projecting it into your brain.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. I guess that could explain the intelligence, too, if they're actually placing thoughts in your head and they have this great, vast alien intelligence.
Yeah.
Or what if, like, that metal you're talking about, they could, like, put on your skin or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
What if that gives you more, like, intelligence or more memory?
That's a good possible explanation for those implants. I mean, what if they're, like, putting a memory chip in a computer? What if they're adding a database to you and giving you a place to store more of your memory?
Must have befriended Elon Musk.
Right. If you think about it, you know, what we call intelligence, we're often really talking about knowledge. And they're two different things. Intelligence is like the capacity to learn, Whereas knowledge is, what do you actually know? Like, yeah, I was always told, don't call somebody stupid, call them ignorant. Because stupid means you can't learn, ignorant means you don't know much. So if you had the ability to increase that capacity to store knowledge, you would appear to be tremendously more intelligent because you know more than the people around you. So yeah, the memory implant is another thing I am completely in favor of, whether it comes from Elon Musk or from the aliens, or where maybe Elon Musk is an alien. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our final number, number 10 on our list of 10 signs that you may have had an alien encounter. This one's pretty obvious: an increase in UFO or UAP sightings in your area. For you to have an alien encounter, there have to be aliens. So if you are seeing UFOs in your area, if you're hearing about UFOs in your area, if you're hearing about, now they call them UAPs in your area, then you might want to be a little bit more vigilant and take a look at some of these other signs, because your chances of having an alien encounter have just gone up.
Maybe they follow you, kind of like Dogman has done to some people.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, it connects to the spectator idea. They are from another planet or a different galaxy, something beyond us, and they have come over to view how our civilization has been going.
Which kind of, I fall back on the old South Park episode where Earth was nothing but a trashy reality show for a more advanced civilization. I could totally see that. Is that other planets must look at us and just say, "Oh, wow! Well, at least we're not as bad as them." Let's see what these crazy humans are up to this week. So yeah, spectators, I think are well within the realm. It's got to be either that, or the other comment I heard just recently is that Earth is the kind of planet where aliens roll up their windows when they drive by. We're just a bad neighborhood in space. But these are our top 10 signs that you may have had an alien encounter. If you have some that should be added to the list, by all means let us know. If you think you've had an alien encounter, by all means let us know. You can do so in the comment section, or you can fill out our confidential sighting report form. And as always, we thank you for listening, and we thank you for sharing these podcasts with your friends, and we thank you for subscribing.